Hi guys, I'm Nina and I do videos on motherhood and lifestyle content. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my absolute must-have newborn baby essentials. So I currently have a 2-month-old baby Lily and I have a 22-month-old, a toddler Jaden, and so I have done this whole newborn thing twice now. Although I'm kind of like knee deep in the middle of it with Lily right now, and I have just learned a lot going through it twice with what I actually need and actually use on a daily basis. I did do a previous video on newborn essentials and I went through a bunch of different categories of every single item that we use and I still use to this day, but this is a much more condensed version. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys just my top 10-ish items that are helping me survive, especially with now having 2 under 2. My essentials have changed a little bit just because I'm doing things a little bit differently to juggle between the two of them. Most of these items I did have with Jaden as well, and then a few that I wish I had the first time around that I'm now using the second time around with the Lily. So I'm going to share with you guys today my essential must-have newborn baby items. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into the items that I've been using. Starting with my boppy nursing pillow, which I have right here. So this nursing pillow, guys, I use every day, pretty much every time I feed Lily, unless I'm out of the house. Even if I'm in the backyard and Jaden's playing, I'll bring this out so I can feed Lily on it. It just makes breastfeeding so much easier and so much more comfortable. I did use this with Jaden as well, and I love that it has a zipper so you can unzip it to just wash the cover whenever you do spill milk on it sometimes. So I like that it's easy to clean and easy to wash. I actually wanted to bring this into the hospital with me when I had Lily, but unfortunately I forgot it at home. But I just remember with Jaden being in the hospital, I'm struggling with the first few days of breastfeeding. So this time around I wanted to be prepared. I used this the second I got home. For anyone who wants to try breastfeeding, I highly recommend this item to make your journey a little bit easier. I know there are other brands that make similar items as well, so you can decide which one works best for you. But for me personally, I love this boppy one. They do have other prints, but I thought this one was a nice, cute little aesthetic piece as well. Along with the boppy nursing pillow, I also use the boppy baby lounger every single day. I wouldn't be able to survive having 2 without this item. I use this so much when I need to attend to my toddler. I'll just put Lily on this boppy lounger while I'm doing whatever I need to do with my toddler, and she's super comfortable in it. I usually put it on the floor just in case she starts rolling or scooting around. They do say to be careful with it, not to put it on any countertops or tables or high items. Sometimes I'll put it in the middle of the bed as well if we're napping and I'm just sitting right next to her reading a book or doing something else. I would definitely suggest some sort of baby lounging pillow that you can put the baby in, especially if you have 2 littles. The next item is the Tubby Todd all over ointment. Now this item I did not have when I had Jaden, but I wish that I would have just gotten it sooner because he also suffered with some eczema, some dry skin. Lily, when she was born, after a few weeks, she started having really bad baby acne that was all over her face. I felt so bad for her because it just looked uncomfortable and her face was always really red. So I decided to buy this. I know it's a little bit on the pricier side, which is why I was hesitant, but I definitely recommend it. It worked so well. Within a few days of putting this on her face, her baby acne completely cleared up. I'll see if I can find a picture of like what it looked like before and after we used this ointment, but it made such a difference. Also with her cradle cap, she had a little bit of cradle cap, and I would just put the tiniest amount of this ointment on her head and it completely cleared it. I definitely recommend this item. I wish I would have gotten it with Jaden since it is a pretty big tub and I know I'm not going to use it all with the Lily. I wish I would have gone ahead and just gotten it for the first baby so I could have used it for both of them. But if your little one has baby acne or any sort of eczema, I would recommend it. It is supposed to be all natural ingredients. Do your own research and find out what works for you, if you like it or not. I'm super picky about what I put on my baby's skin. I will not put anything that I don't feel comfortable with or that I don't feel like is natural or a healthy product for the baby. But from the research that I've done, this one seems to be one of the best products, which makes sense why it's a little bit more pricier of an item. But when it comes to baby skin, I will not skip out and get something that is cheaper quality if I'm not sure what the ingredients are or if it's going to be healthy for the baby. Okay, so my next item is my haka, which I'm actually going to grab. It's on my nightstand right here because I use this thing every single night. This helped especially in the first few weeks of starting to breastfeed. I would attach this to one boob when I was feeding her on the other, and it really helped with my milk flow. I feel like it helps if you're struggling in the early stage with milk production. The haka is also how I got a milk stash right away within the first few weeks of feeding. I would put this on the other side when I was feeding, and then whatever I would collect, I would put it in a little baggie in the refrigerator or in the freezer after a few days, and I have a milk stash collected because of this. I usually use it at night now when she does a longer stretch of sleep and I feel a little bit more full, like I need to release, then I will use this. I am not at all a fan of pumping. I really do not like pumping. I will avoid it at all costs. I do have the outlet pump, and I do like that one compared to the Medela and some of the other pumps that I've tried, but I will try to avoid it at all costs. So I would rather use this haka, which has a suction on it and kind of produces like a stream of milk, versus a pump if I can. I've actually only pumped twice since I've had Lily in the last 2 months, and I would say that's because anytime that I've felt engorged or felt like I needed to release some of the milk, I was able to use this as well. Along with the haka, I also have the little butterfly catchers, which you can just put in your nursing bra when you're nursing. It's a little less intense than the haka, I would say, in the sense that it doesn't necessarily suction anything out. It's more there just to collect if you have, like, I don't know what the word is for it, not necessarily let down, but pretty much like if you're leaking. So if I use the butterfly haka collector, I'll probably get maybe a 1/2 ounce if I'm feeding on the other side, whereas if I attach the haka, at this point I'll usually get a good 2 to 3 ounces. So this one's definitely like if you want to suction more milk out, whereas the collector is more like if you just want to catch the little droplets, because you know, as a new mama, milk is liquid gold and you don't want to waste anything. Okay, so next baby item must have that I use for both Jaden and Lily is the Owlet baby monitor. So I use the Owlet sock. This really just gives me peace of mind when it comes to sleep. I put this on Lily every night. I used it for a whole year with Jaden. His first year of life, I would put it on him when he went to sleep, or if I was going to put him down for a nap in his room by himself. I love that you can check on them on the app and you can see their oxygen level as well as their heart rate. There was one time when Jaden's heart rate got too high because he had a fever when he was little, and the Owlet alarmed and woke us up, and we were able to give him medicine and just monitor him for the rest of the night. So I really feel like it's worth it, even though it is another pricier item. I just feel like you can't put a price on your peace of mind and on sleep and your own sleep in general. And for me as a mom, something that I really struggle with is postpartum anxiety. So I am that mom that's like constantly checking if they're breathing. Even with my second one, I thought I would be a little bit better than my first, but it's still something that I struggle with. I still struggle with that postpartum anxiety of like, is the baby okay? Is the baby breathing? Just in a lot of different little areas. And so the Owlet sleep sock, it's just one little item that makes my life a little bit easier and brings my stress levels down. So I highly recommend the Owlet sock if that's something that you feel like you're going to struggle with, or you just want to monitor and make sure that your baby has safe sleeping. We also use the Owlet camera, which is nice because it connects, but you could just get the sock if you have a different baby monitor that's maybe a little bit less expensive. We got it as a bundle, so that's why we have both the monitor and the sock. Yeah, Lily's talking to me. Hi, princess. So the next must-have item is pacifiers. With Jaden, I could not get him to take a pacifier, but with Lily, I was very determined that I wanted her to be able to take a pacifier. With Jaden, I was more concerned about nipple confusion, so I feel like I wasn't huge on making sure that he could take the pacifier, whereas with the Lily, I was like, I need this girl to take a pacifier. I know it helps so much with sleep, and it also reduces the risk of SIDS, giving your baby a pacifier at night. Yes, it does. So I really wanted her to take one. I tried a few different pacifiers, and the only one that I could get her to really latch onto and take well is called, I believe it's the Tommee Tippee pacifier. I might be saying that wrong, but I'll link it down below. Again, I tried quite a few different pacifiers with both my kiddos, and this is the only pacifier that I could get Lily to take. It is a little bit on the pricier side again compared to some of the cheaper pacifiers, but if they take it, I'm telling you, it is worth it. Okay. I'm telling you, having a baby that takes a pacifier has changed my life. Highly recommend. Along with that, also a pacifier clip with Lily. The first month of life, I did not use a pacifier clip, and I had to already reorder the pacifiers. And like I said, these are a little bit more on the pricier side. So I was like, I cannot keep losing these pacifiers. So I started using a pacifier clip. It has been so much better when we go out. If we leave the house, I'll clip the pacifier onto her, so that way we're not constantly losing them. The next baby item that I highly suggest is a baby sterile saline mist, and what this is for their nose. If they are congested or they have a lot of boogers, you can spray this in each nostril. It's one that our pediatrician had recommended. Of course, check with your pediatrician first. Our doctor recommended that we didn't keep using the little bulb or syringe when she was very congested as a newborn the first few weeks of life, because she said that if you keep using it, it can irritate her nostril and like inside her nose, and I didn't want that to happen. So instead I would just use the saline spray, and it would kind of loosen up the boogers. I know that sounds kind of gross, but it would loosen up the boogers, and then usually they would come out on their own. Unfortunately, when she came home from the hospital, she had a lot of congestion, and it would be kind of scary hearing her breathe at night, just because you could hear her trying so hard with the congestion to breathe through their nose. One thing that I learned is that babies only breathe through their nose for the first, I think, few months of life. They don't breathe in and out of their mouth. So if they're congested, it can make it really hard for them to breathe on their own. So using that saline spray, I'm glad we had an extra one right when she was born from the hospital. We started using that right away, and I still use that even with my toddler. If he gets sick, I will use the saline spray a couple times a day to help with that congestion. Little Remedies is also a great brand when it comes to children and sickness. I really like all of their products, so definitely look into those. Okay, so the next item is a baby bouncer. I love this baby bouncer. I believe it's Fisher Price. I'll link it down below, but I use this a lot when I have my hands full. Like I said, with two under two, it's constantly balancing between the two of them. And so it's nice to kind of place her between holding her, the baby lounger, and then the baby bouncer. The one that I have is great because it vibrates, which she really likes. It's like a comforting feeling for her. And then it also makes noises, so it just seems like a little lullaby. There's two different sounds that it can make, and one is also more of like a white noise sound, which is nice because a lot of times I'll just put her in the bouncer when I need a second, and I'll put the vibration on with the sound, and it will put her right to sleep. She will fall asleep in this thing. I know you're not supposed to leave babies in there sleeping, but if I'm around and I'm close by and I just have my eye on her, I'll put her in there, or sometimes I'll even put the owlet sock on her just to make sure that she's breathing while she's sleeping in there, and it'll free up my hands for me to attend to my toddler. Again, this time around, my must-have items are items that keep me going with two little ones and help me just get through the day and be able to attend to both of them. On that note, I also use the baby carrier constantly. So the baby carrier I loved even with just having one kiddo. A great way to have your hands free if you're trying to cook dinner or sweep the floors, or even if you're just like going to the grocery store and you need to use your hands. The baby carrier I love. I have a few different ones. I think my favorite is the Infantino baby carrier, just because it's a really good price point for what you're getting. I also love the boppy baby carrier as well. I felt like that one was great for the newborn stage. I could probably do a whole video just on reviewing the baby carriers that I have, because I do have a few different ones that have been gifted to me. I know Wildbird also has a really popular one, but I prefer the ones that just clip in. I feel like it's easier on the go than trying to figure out like a whole wrap system. I use my baby carrier constantly. I used it with Jaden and I use it especially now with Lily if I'm outside going for a walk with Jaden, or if I'm just in the house and I'm trying to do different things at one time. The baby carrier is my go-to. I know that some moms have said that their babies don't like the baby carrier, so I do suggest putting them in it right away, right off the bat. I would put Lily and Jaden in the baby carrier. I used it within like the first week of being home. Actually, I think I used it the first day that we got home from the hospital. And I think when you start using it right away, it's just like second nature to them. I think it also in the newborn stage just gives them that nice cozy feeling like they're back in the womb. I kind of think of it like a kangaroo and how they have like the babies in the pouches, just like giving the baby that like cozy, warm, close to mama feel. Usually when I put Lily in it, she'll fall asleep right away. And with Jaden too, he was not a good sleeper, so I would put him in the baby carrier and go outside for like 2 minutes and I walk around and he would fall asleep, and that when I could not get him to sleep. If you use a baby carrier, let me know what's your favorite brand down below as well. I'm always curious to learn because there's a lot of different kinds, so I'm curious to learn about other kinds that I have not tried yet. The very last baby item that I'm going to say is socks. Even if this is your second time around, for whatever reason, I just feel like socks just disappear. Like every day I feel like we lose a new sock. So if you are looking for what to get your baby number 2, a lot of the clothes we reused. We got a lot of neutral colored stuff or hand-me-downs, items that were gifted from friends when it came to clothing, which we're so thankful for. But I feel like we are always low on socks. So I would recommend getting a few pairs of socks in a few different sizes that you can use with your baby to keep their little toesies all nice and bundled up. Those were my favorite baby items. If there's a baby item that I missed that you feel like is a must-have item, definitely let me know below. Again, this is just a condensed version of the items I feel like I wouldn't be able to live without if you're going for a more minimalistic view of what to buy for your baby. When it comes to marketing, there are a million items out there that they will tell you that you need for your baby, but it's really not true. Like for example, like a play mat. Yes, I use my play mat every single day and I love it, but could you just put your baby on a blanket on the floor? Yeah, you could. So these are the items that I feel like you really do need. You don't have to buy every single baby item that is out there. You can just get a few essentials for you and your baby, and more than anything, your baby just needs your love and your attention, and for you to be there with them and spend time with them and hold them and snuggle them. So that is all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help the algorithm and my channel. If you're not already, feel free to subscribe to follow along our journey. If there's something you would like to see in upcoming videos, definitely let me know down below, and I will see you in my next video.